Two HIMARS hit the heart of Belgorod's grid before a single alarm sounded.
At 7:46 a.m., 4 American HIMARS missiles, each worth $160,000, erupt from their launch rails in Ukraine, tearing through the morning air at hypersonic speed toward the strategic Novy Oskol substation. In the thick fog, Russia's S-400 Triumph system, valued at $1.2 billion, sees nothing but an empty void. That target is the light switch for Belgorod's entire air defense network, and within seconds, someone is about to lose their window to the sky. Comment below where you're joining from. Today's footage shows both sides pushed to their absolute limit. At the edge of the tree line, the first signs of the battle unfold, with a quiet, lethal precision. A Ukrainian Shark drone, each one worth $42,000, skims just feet above the canopy, its thermal camera slicing through the morning haze like a scalpel. Behind it, a pack of FPV drones, $400 apiece, rides the same airflow, forming the opening wave of the Fog Phantom Swarm, a moving curtain of deception built to confuse billion-dollar radars. The first contact comes fast. A Russian Orlan 10 reconnaissance drone priced at $100,000 slides into view, drifting above the fog as if hunting for ghosts. It never gets the chance to understand what it's seen. From a patch of brush below, an FPV drone bursts upward in a sudden, vicious sprint. The collision is small, almost modest, just a flash and a crack, but it's enough. The Orlan jerks sideways, spirals once, and vanishes into the whiteness like a wounded bird folding into the forest. But the real operation is only beginning. Unbothered by the brief skirmish, the Shark drone keeps its camera locked forward, magnifying the world 30 times as it guides the formation deeper into Russian airspace. Its signals cue the FPV drones to spit out pre-programmed bursts of metallic chaff-thin strips that drift upward and blossom into false signatures. On radar, they don't look like drones. They look like a flock of frantic birds erupting from the forest. And for the Russian defenses watching from miles away, that is where the nightmare truly starts. Inside the underground bunker, the Ukrainian screens erupt into a blizzard of white static. The Kasuka-4 electronic warfare system, worth $50 million, has come fully alive on the Russian side, flooding the airwaves with enough electromagnetic noise to smother GPS, sever data links, and blind anything that flies too high. One of the FPV drones, suddenly stripped of guidance, wobbles, spins, and disappears straight into the tree line with a dull metallic crack. It's a reminder. In this phase of the mission, even the smallest mistake can become fatal. Then the second threat arrives, loud, physical, and brutally close. A Russian 2S-3 Akatsiya howitzer unit, each gun valued at $550,000, begins hammering the forest with a full battery strike. The shells land exactly where the first HIMARS launcher had been minutes earlier, clawing the earth open and showering the canopy in splinters. The Russians think they're retaliating. They're not. They're firing at ghosts. Because a few hundred yards away, the Ukrainian UAV team is already countering. They released 2 buzzer-jet decoy drones, small $6,000 machines designed for one thing: lying convincingly. Each one emits a perfectly sculpted electromagnetic profile, mimicking a HIMARS launcher mid-transmission. As they drift upward, the Russian fire control radar swallows the bait instantly. The Akatsiya guns pivot. Their next volley walks completely off target, chasing the fake signals deeper into the woods. The real HIMARS crew, long gone, is already preparing the next phase of the strike. Comment 1 if drones changed everything. 2 if soldiers still matter most. 3 if both are trapped in a new kind of war. Ukraine's operators spot the opening almost the moment it happens. The Kasuka-4 jammer, for all its $50 million power, burns electricity like a furnace. Push it at full output for 15 minutes, and it must cycle down or cook itself from the inside. And beneath all that brute force lies an even bigger flaw. Its filters can't reliably distinguish a precision drone from a harmless flock of birds. So Ukraine strikes with coordination, not muscle. At a single command, the swarm unleashes the false flock screen, hundreds of thin metallic chaff strips erupting upward in a shimmering wave. On Russian radar, the sky blooms with chaos. The Kalman filter begins to choke, trying to sort signal from noise, drowning in a blizzard of fake wings. In that engineered confusion, the first HIMARS missile, now denied GPS, quietly shifts to its inertial navigation system, a blind but razor-accurate internal compass that never listens to the outside world. Above the treetops, the Shark drone catches a break in the fog. Its 30 times optic locks onto the substation's main transformer and paints it with an invisible laser. Laser energy cannot be jammed. All the missile must do now is simple: fly to the dot. The Russian Panzer S-1, each unit worth $15 million, awakens with violent precision. Its radar snaps onto the incoming streak of metal, and a single interceptor erupts upward, spearing the first HIMARS missile out of the fog in a burst of white fire. But Ukraine is already shifting to the next phase. The swarm splits into two disciplined arms. A group of FPV drones dives low and begins dropping blazing hot flares, each one burning brighter than a bonfire to lure the Panzer's sensors away. Meanwhile, the Shark drone slips behind a low ridge, hugging the terrain, its laser still locked on the substation like a surgeon's steady hand. In that protective shadow, the second HIMARS missile receives its updated coordinates. It tilts just half a degree, an adjustment so small it's almost invisible, yet decisive, and accelerates again, knifing through the mist toward the glowing point of laser light that no jammer, no radar, and no panic-fired interceptor can erase. The S-400 finally unleashes its fury. A single 48 N6 interceptor, each one costing $1 million, knifes into the sky and slams into the second HIMARS, erasing it in a flash. But the victory lasts seconds. The radar begins to drown under hundreds of false bird echoes, its processors choking on the impossible math. Ukraine seizes the moment. The third and fourth HIMARS missiles slip into a narrow radar shadow between two rolling hills. Terrain the S-400 cannot see through, no matter its price tag. On a distant rooftop, a Russian guard fires blindly with an AK-74 until a $400 FPV drone dives in, clearing the path for the real strike. The third and fourth HIMARS strike with surgical brutality. One missile punches through 12 inches of reinforced concrete, while the second obliterates the switching hub beneath it. A Monroe effect jet of plasma moving at 7,000 feet per second rips the substation apart, collapsing 20% of Belgorod's military grid. The S-400 goes blind, fuel depots stall, logistics freeze, and Russia is forced to pull air defenses from Donbass, weakening the front itself. Across Belgorod, neighborhoods sit in darkness for hours. Nurses guiding elderly residents down unlit stairwells after the elevators die. A Russian family cracks open their shelter door to share water with two Ukrainian workers trapped nearby as smoke drifts against the wind. In Ukraine, rescue teams stand ready in their bunker, prepared to warn villagers if a stray drone falls. And beneath the lingering haze lies one question. In an age of $400 drones versus billion-dollar radars, who truly pays the price?